Let's get live. Zoom. Got a new camera working here, so I look like a fucking tomato. Not much can be done about that. I have lighting. Oh, what's this? Get the fuck
That new camera makes you look 10 pounds gayer.
Oh, wow. That's good, Shawn.
Oh, we live?
Oh, YouTube's going to love that. Yep. YouTube, it's Henry. Kick him off, not me.
Get some Bud Light up in here.
Yeah, they're going to help us out. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome into your TBC Weekly Live here on the YouTubes. Please hit the chat. Super chats take precedence over everything else. We appreciate everybody that's pumped in some super chat money so far. And all that money goes right back into the show. Like, I just bought a new camera today. Still have some decent lighting. I got to hire a makeup artist. So if you guys know anybody, please give me some recommendations. Yeah, and then I got to work on my wardrobe, of course. So a lot of things. I mean, your money is endlessly spent. Got to pay for lap dances for the big guy. We got to get Shawn a studio. Jeff needs a studio. So everything that you guys contribute goes right into the show to make it better, not worse. I hope. I try. We try. Anyways, tonight we're gonna pull up a stool, pour a drink, talk some Buckeye football. Please subscribe. Don't forget that, in case that big ass graphic over my shoulder didn't remind you. We're talking, and we'll do some bourbon talk, and then we're going to talk. We're going to give our three Buckeyes. Each of us are going to give three Buckeyes who took their game to the next level in this spring practice. So I haven't decided if we should do this in a draft style where you don't get to reuse the same guy, or if we should double up, assuming we have the same guys.
We're gonna have some same guys. Not you talking 9 guys,
right? But see, I want to make the case for my guys. Looking at why I chose them. So if we're doubling up on guys, then kind of doubling up on the case why you chose them. So, and then Jeff has his own NFL draft segment. Jeff, what are you talking about tonight?
Well, I just wanted to just go over a review. We have probably 3 first-round draft picks. I think just about everybody that knows the NFL is picked all Paris Johnson, Jackson Smith, and CJ all in the first round. But I kind of want to go in just real quick about how it is still important to Buckeye fans and Buckeye Nation to where not so much even when our old players go in the NFL, but as to what teams and how that gets feedback through recruiting and everything else. So just gonna go over that real quick.
All right. Sounds good. Shawn, did you want your own segment as well? Did you want to talk about
No,
Detroit
I just
Lions
want to,
football?
after Jeff kicks some knowledge, I think I've got a little input that I could add to his segment. But no,
Can't wait till you put it in, Shawn.
I'm gonna put it in quick and
that's what she said.
Quick and quick.
Of course, yeah. All right.
I'll be done quick, don't worry.
Yeah. Yep. Done. Let's talk some bourbon real quick. What do you guys got going on up in the bourbon front?
Well, I just, as a matter of fact, sitting in front of me right now is no bourbon, but the last of my Don Julio 70. Just killed that bottle and threw her in the recycle bin. So she was nice. I would highly recommend for not cheap, but not crazy expensive tequila. Nice sipping, drink it neat, and that's the way to go with that.
Okay.
Don Julio
So
70.
why do they call it 70? Is that the year it was like
I forget
minted?
on the 70.
Minted?
No,
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I assumed it was
no,
from
I forget on the
1970.
70. Now the Don Julio 1942. 1942 is actually when they started aging the tequilas. That's in the Anejo. They started aging tequilas in like bourbon barrels and whiskey barrels. And that's kind of like when modern day tequila was born. So I'm not sure what the 70s for exactly, but it certainly has a meaning. Maybe 70 years of Don Julio as a brand or something. Like it was their anniversary edition, but not 100% on that. But the Don Julio 70 is a nice.
Maybe it's like team number 70, like Michigan likes to create numbers for their teams, like team number 45, etc.
No, I think I think
it's smarter. It's
the 70s, the 70s always available. It was available 5 years ago. It'll be available 5 years from now. And there's not going to be a 75 or
it makes a lot more sense.
It would be cool if there was a 69 because it's awesome.
Nice. Do some body shots off yourself. All right, Jeff, anything?
I got some Sazerac rye.
Oh yeah.
Just open this bottle up.
I love that shit, man. That's
I haven't
for
seen it
the
around
price
forever.
point, it's amazing.
How do you guys
I don't see it anywhere.
Neat.
I go light ice just like I do any bourbon. I mean I don't differentiate rye versus the straight bourbon, but
He likes to let it open up over the ice cubes.
Yeah. I mean I can drink it neat. I mean if all we have is the bottle and no glass, I'll drink it out of the bottle, no problem.
Slug it.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
No glass, no ice. Here we go.
No problem. Dunk on that shit. No, I saw it, Joe. I saw it last week. Sitting right next to the Buffalo. They had one bottle of Sazerac, one bottle of Buffalo left. I said, I'll take those two. Thank you. I said, when you getting more in? I don't know. We're changing distributors. Oh, fuck. All right. I guess I'll just be back and check.
I'll be back next month.
Well,
Yeah,
hey, if they're here's the trick on that, Jeff. If they're changing distributors, you might want to get in there like early and see what this new distributor is all about. They might have a couple hidden gems that they bring in, and if you're not early to that party, then you're going to be left out. But you know that to me is the best, almost the best way to find a diamond in the rough, if you will, is
And
something like that happens. You get in early on it, and you're like, oh shit, before anybody knows that they got it.
I'll peek in there this week.
And you got to ask when they get their shipments in, because that's when I tend to pop in is to ABC is right after those shipments.
Oh, well, Joe, the truck driver just left. Oh, there's Joe.
Can't believe you're here Thursday morning at 11 a.m.
Like Joe's unloading the truck for him. Like, hey, can I help you guys with that?
Yeah. What do you got in there? Oh, this smells good.
3 cases of Buffalo. No, you should have had 6. I had placed an order.
I just dropped them. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was getting at when I was asking him. You know, like kind of, well, when is the new guy coming? And he didn't know information because new distributor coming in. So I need to get I'll get my head in there this week and see what's what. But I'm becoming a fan of the rye. The Bullet rye I like. The Basil Hayden I like even. I like
the Angel Envy's rye is nice.
Oh, haven't had the Angel's Envy rye yet. Haven't tried it. Oh, I had to
Sazerac. I wouldn't compare the Sazerac to other ryes. It's super smooth compared to most ryes.
Yes, it's much smoother than the rest. Real good though. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So quickly wanted to touch on, because I saw a lot of this on social media over the last couple of days, over the weekend. Lorenzo Styles Jr., obviously son of Lorenzo Styles Sr. and brother to Sonny Styles, current Buckeye, popped in the portal on Friday. 6'1", 192, athlete. He has 2 more years of eligibility. The interesting part, though, is he's converting to defensive back from receiver. So flipping over to corner, which he played both in high school. So it's not a big stray from familiarity. He did start practicing with Notre Dame's corners the last week of their spring practice. So I have no idea when that was, probably within the last month. So he has flipped over, but it looks like he's taken a visit to Ohio State. Like they don't take official visits as transfers, but as officially as he could visit, like he basically went with Sonny through the locker room, probably.
You about gave me a heart attack. I saw that come through, and my eyes aren't that good, and just all I saw was Styles enters the portal. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No. And then I'm like, oh, okay. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of an aneurysm. So Lorenzo Jr. could use a redshirt season. He hasn't used that yet. So if he's making that flip to a new position, he could utilize this first year. Should he come to Ohio State? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He could use this redshirt season and then still have 2 more years, and then you let guys like Denzel Burke move on. Maybe a Jordan Hancock, probably not. But anyways, extra year also would allow him to bulk up to be a safety, possibly, if there's room.
What do you
in
mean?
there.
Well, how big did you say he was?
6'1", 192.
That's already a safety.
Well, it depends on what safety he wants to play. I mean, if you're playing in the box, you got to be over 200 pounds.
That's about Jeffrey Okudah, what you just said, Joe. That was about Okudah's playing.
Ransom is 205, and he's playing the Bandit right now.
Yeah, but I mean, going from at 6'1" to add 10 pounds and you're only 190, to me, that's he could add 10. He could probably add 20 pounds, no problem. Fuck with his
Yeah, right.
He's got the style frame. Right.
Yeah. So, right. So a lot of this is up in the air. I'm not saying he is going to be a safety or he is going to be a corner. He's making the move from receiver to defensive back that is set in stone.
It might not even be. Yeah. We don't even know if he's coming. Yeah.
Right. Give me a Styles. Give me a Styles safety combo.
If he can play,
do it.
The cornerback room is already well stocked. I mean, we got 2 guys coming in this 23 class. We're probably going to take 4 in the 2024 class. And these are not 4, mediocre guys. These are high 4-star guys, and 2 of them are in state. So I'm not sure we have the room for him. I hope they're not. I have to assume they're not making any promises. They're not that stupid, the coaches and stuff. So you got Jermaine Matthews already on campus, Calvin Simpson Hunt coming in the summer. Jair Brown, Ryan Turner are developing. Jair's gotten a ton of playing experience. And right now we're 2 or 3 over the limit, the scholarship limit. Not that we have to be there right now, but eventually you got to have those hard conversations with other guys just to bring in what is a kind of a project, So I'm not sure it's worth it, even though he's, a legacy and his brother plays here. If you feel obligated as Ryan Day and the coaches, I understand it. I'm not going to argue with it, but we'll see what happens with Lorenzo Styles Jr. Supposedly he's already in classes at Ohio State. I'm not sure that's true, because him and his dad have the exact same name, like first, middle, and obviously last name. So there is a Lorenzo, I think it's Cavelli Styles in the Ohio State directory, the student directory, but is it likely that the dad is taking classes right now? I don't know. He's, in his 40s. He's close to our age.
He's not.
I would assume not, but who knows? So That's just that's the only excitement around the portal action. I'm not going to get into it. There are so many like tackles and stuff out there. I don't think there's a starting quality Ohio State tackle out there at all, even though there's guys coming from, USC, Texas A&M, even Wyoming. People are throwing out this kid from Wyoming. I don't know if those guys are actually worth
I'd like
Ohio
to pick one
State.
up.
What's that?
I just don't. I'd like to pick one up though, regardless whether they're starter or not, just for the depth. And
If they fit.
I would agree with you that you'd be tough to come in and just get a starting left or probably right tackle spot at Ohio State without being in the system, without knowing anybody. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Unless you're a freaking phenom, which guess what? Those guys aren't transferring. You're not going to.
If you're starting.
We lucked out on what's his name from Rutgers.
Donovan Jackson from Maryland. Yeah.
No.
Donovan Jackson. Jonah Jackson.
Oh, Jonah. Sorry.
Yeah, he's still starting left guard for the Lions. Him and Taylor Decker are still on the left side over there in Detroit. Yeah, he was a steal. I mean, like that was probably the best transfer we've had.
Other than
Justin Fields might have some.
Yeah.
And who was our running back that one year? He did it.
Trey Sermon.
Back? Yeah,
Trey Sermon.
School record. That's all right.
But who's going to be the best ever? Igbinosan.
Oh,
maybe.
Igbinosan, yeah. So let's get into our 3 guys who took their game to the next level. This includes freshmen because we have only high school tape to go off of. So we're talking, each one of us is going to give 3 guys who took their game to the next level in this spring practice period. And let's see, how do we decide who goes first? Are we doing this draft style, or because I can go a bunch of different ways if you guys want to double up?
Yeah,
just take all my ideas.
Just whatever, however you want to do it.
Just whatever, yeah. All right, Shawn, since you feel the most confident tonight, let's let you go first. Let's do it. If somebody doubles up, you're gonna have to choose another guy. So let's go draft style. All right. So if guy's off the board, you got to pick somebody else.
Okay.
And give me your what for.
All right.
Go ahead, Shawn.
I don't have the stats in front of me.
You don't need them.
I'm gonna go before you guys steal my favorite. Carnell Tate. This guy's not only from basically the day he signed and the day he walked into the Woody and winter workouts and spring and all that. This guy, they talk about him, and then he puts it out there and he shows out. And I think from what he's done, everything I've heard and how he played in the spring game, that he is going to be in the 2 deep. I feel that strongly. He works too hard, and when his buddy comes in, I don't even think what's his name will be able to overtake him. I'm losing his name right now. The other receiver we got coming in, Ennis, who's an absolute freak. But then, I mean, you got Rodgers, a lot of young talent there, but I think Tate, of those rookie guys, to me, really put himself into the conversation in a crowded room, and there's only a couple spots to get, and I think that he's like, fuck it, I'm going to take one of them, and I think he's done that. So,
Jeff, did you have Tate on your list?
Yeah, I was gonna save him for third, but I knew he'd be a hot topic. So, not my first pick.
Not your first.
Feel free to opine whether you agree or disagree on the Tate.
I agree 100%.
I'll pile on.
I agree 100% with your evaluation, Shawn. I'm going Kenyatta Jackson. We saw.
Back up. We're not done talking about Tate.
Okay.
Do you have anything else on Tate? Carnell Tathan?
I figured I was gonna when I listed him in the third round, you were gonna ask me that. No, I mean, yeah, he asserted himself as he's in the 2 deep right as of right now. Barring injuries and everything, of course, but that sophomore class of receivers, like he noticed that there's ground to be made here. If I just got to go out and show it, and he asserted himself.
Well, he did.
He needed to.
Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. Was he the first to lose a stripe?
Yes,
he was.
He was.
As a true freshman, yeah.
Like in record time, like within a week. Like he was like one of the 3 fastest
Like
in school
came
history.
the ball out. Yeah, I don't think there's any stopping this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Less than 3 months on campus.
Right. It's very impressive. And I'm not downplaying what he's shown and what he's achieved so far. But we have 3 really good receivers that you didn't even, 2 of them aren't even, they dressed for the game, but they didn't even play in it. So now, as far as hot as he's looked, right, coming in, running, getting the reps and everything. Remember, if Igbuka and Fleming stay healthy, they're the ones that are going to be on the field. Now, like I said, I think he could be like the 5th or 6th, in that rotation, because they're not going to have the same 6 guys healthy for all year, all season. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's probably going to be that second team coming out, and then maybe an injury to one of the starters. We're going to see him on the field plenty, but there are a lot of other horses that need the ball.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to temper it a little bit.
Yeah, but I think I think he cracks that gunner position on punt. And
I'd love to see that. Love to see that.
That's how you get on the field, is you kick ass on special teams. And I mean, the guy plays with confidence. He runs smooth routes, great hands, physical. When the ball's in the air, he makes those contested catches. And we've seen that throughout spring. It's just, can he carry this momentum from spring practice over into summer and then obviously preseason camp to make where he can get in the rotation? And not that they're going to rotate 6, but again,
but there's going to be 4. I mean, there's going to be 4. I mean, of course, the early and the often sets will be the top 3 guys, but there's going to be 1 or 2 other guys that get, 300 plus snaps this year, that aren't those 3.
Yeah.
That they're going to get some serious plays.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And we can't, we can't expect all our top 4 receivers to be 100% healthy all year. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and we'll see plenty of Carnell Tate.
And hopefully the coaches will do a better job of managing blowouts, because blowout management has been an issue, especially last year, where quarterbacks are playing into the 4th quarter up 30, 40 points, So that's a side topic, but Jeff, I'll let you go ahead with your first pick.
I mentioned before, Kenyatta Jackson.
Right.
A defensive end, he looks different. I remember the year that Chase Young came back. I think it was his sophomore year. Chase Young came back and like, oh God, look at that picture with all those guys during mat drills. He's different. I sent that picture. I cut out of Chase Young to my buddy Nick, who's a diehard Michigan fan. I said, this fucking guy's gonna eat your lunch. You're hating it. And then sure enough, the next 2 years, Chase Young balled out. Kenyatta Jackson, body transformation. And I'm going off the people on the beat that see him every day and they're like, this dude came out of nowhere. Like making plays, getting the size and strength build up that he needed. I mean, they said that just a transformation. And now we never saw him on the field. I never even noticed him on the sidelines last year. Nor did I ever see him make a play. But when the spring game, you see 97 now. He's like, oh, that guy. So, and he's got 2, just like Carnell Tate, he's got 2 studs in front of him on that depth chart. But he's going to be that, him and Curry be those next 2 again. And there's going to be playing time for 4 defensive ends for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Shawn, you want to chime in on Kenyatta?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. He can get coached up. He looks like he looks like a Chase Young. He looks like a predator out there. He's, a physical freak. He looks like, but will he do it? And, we've had a few of these guys past few years.
Sure.
That had this same thing, and it's like, I don't know, do you get it? I don't know if it's part of it. He's going to be productive, period. It's what I'm talking about here, splitting hairs. Kenyatta Jackson 100% is going to be a productive Buckeye. I have no doubt about
Consistency
that.
though, right?
But will he be a next level dude? And he has the good thing about, he's got the potential to be a next level guy. He's up, you start to say, oh, he reminds me a lot of Chase Young or someone like that, in that good of a player. So I like to see his progression. The body looks good. Looks like he's got the length, and by the size of those arms, looks like he got the strength. So
I just fell in love.
I'm in.
He's got the speed, the length, and the bend. 3 things that I don't have.
Joe wiggled in his chair right now.
Yeah.
You got to have the length to have that bend. You can't bend with no length.
Right. Short guys can't bend. So
then it's just a fall off.
Yeah, you're shooting blanks basically. Kenyatta was actually my first pick too. I think his natural ability and his development with Coach Johnson to use his hands more, create counter moves, all the coaching from Coach Johnson is going to make him just. I think he's right now poised to be a breakout player, and that's as a second stringer. I mean, he's probably the 4th man off the bench at the DN position. You got Caden Curry. He'll be the first man off behind JT and Jack. So when we got to start rotating guys, JT and Jack get tired. Here comes Caden Curry. Here comes Kenyatta Jackson, and that's when I think you're going to see a lot of this breakout season for Kenyatta. I'm really high on him.
Yeah, definitely. Going into the season, I was thinking JT or Jack get hurt. I don't know what we have behind him besides Curry. Not knowing, before we saw the development of or the resurgence of Kenyatta. So,
yeah, he's put on 20 pounds.
That helps.
It wouldn't be surprising.
That helps.
It wouldn't be surprising to see towards the end of the year if he keeps this trajectory, that he does become the guy. There's one thing about Jack being there, and I know we talked about it was a shame to put him at Jack last year, which I don't disagree with, but maybe he's not as effective as like a JT and maybe Kenyatta. Are these guys able to pass up Jack Sawyer this year?
You're saying he brings something different to the table?
Yeah, I don't know if I guess we'll see. Is Jack the guy? I know JT's the guy, pretty sold on that, but I don't know because they've moved Jack around. But if you got a guy that's going to be, if you're going to be one of the best DNs in college football, do you think that Larry Johnson and Jim Knowles say, oh, you know what? We know you're going to be a top 5 DN, but we're going to move you to this position. So I don't know if they're 100% sold that Sawyer is the guy.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll see, but
we'll know that we'll know by the Notre Dame game though. We'll know by the Notre Dame game where that depth chart is going to be.
I don't think Jack is going to be behind a sophomore.
I don't either. No, I'm not predicting it either. But I mean, we'll have a clearer picture, by that 3rd, 4th week in the season
of the rotation. Yeah.
And we're gonna see him clean up against Western Kentucky, but Indiana the first game, at least it's a Big Ten school, bottom Big Ten, which doesn't say much, but we'll have a better idea because we're gonna see Kenyatta on the field and Curry along with the starters.
Right.
So we'll get a good idea.
All right, my first pick, since you took Kenyatta, I'm going Jaden Ballard I think this is his third year. It's time to fucking go. He's a little bit behind in development. He came in with Harrison a little bit behind him, and also not just Harrison, but came in with Big Buka as well. But he's a little bit behind, maybe 6 months, the typical development plan. And I think this wide receiver room, obviously the best in the country, he's going to be behind some guys, Harrison and Buka, Fleming, Xavier. So I think he took full advantage of his reps that he got this spring and showed what he could do. He only has like 9 catches on his career so far for less than 160 yards and a touchdown. So he's shown, though, in this spring, and that's the key here. So what we're talking about, how he's taken his game to the next level by improving his hands, especially on deep balls, short routes, contested catches, improved footwork, everything that you need to be a good route runner at Ohio State. You don't just get to run 9 routes all day. Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other receivers in the room say he has the best hands in their group. Marvin Harrison said this, quote, his ball skills are phenomenal. He rarely drops a ball. He's so naturally gifted in that area. He can be so special. We saw that with the one-handed catch in the spring scrimmage / practice game last week. Probably won't start, ever until maybe next year. Who knows? But he's got to get some reps. I feel maybe from Fleming, maybe take some reps from Fleming, and just has to maintain that consistency. Like Hartline always says, if I'm going to take you out, you have to perform as well as the guy I just took out. So otherwise, he's not going to take you out. Who wants to pile on that?
I definitely believe that he will. I can't picture Julian Fleming, just from history, making it through 12 games healthy. Jaden Ballard will be filling that spot, and he gives us that other deep threat. And like you said, you want to fast forward to 2024. I think Ibuka and Harrison are leaving. That could leave a Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate, Jaden Ballard, 3 starters, and that's still probably going to be the best in the country. We're going to see him. We're going to see him on the field. I like his deep threat ability and the hands. If Marvin Harrison's saying you got better hands than me,
he didn't say that exactly.
Well, okay, yeah, right. He's saying
that's a big leap.
Yeah, but he's propping up. He's got the best hands on the team.
You say you got best hands on the team. That's saying it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's probably prefacing that as well. If,
he didn't say that.
Me looking in, what's the whole quote and what was the question that was asked?
He said, his ball skills are phenomenal. He rarely drops a ball. He's so naturally gifted in that area. He can be so special. That's Marvin's quote.
Oh, I thought you opened up with, you said they all agree he has the best hands on the team.
That as a group, they say that. I don't know. That's just as a group.
Well, regardless if he has the best hands, he's made enough plays that everybody has taken notice. And if all the players have taken notice, the coaches with the film have definitely taken notice. And I'm sure Hartline and the offensive staff they're banking, and I'm not banking. It's just Julian Fleming is going to be one of those guys that he has NFL talent, I think, but he's going to be dinged up a lot. I don't see that changing. I don't know if he's going to get to 25 or 26 and then just be a iron horse.
All right, so let's keep the rotation going. Let's not
all right.
Focus on guys that we're not talking about. Shawn, we'll go back around to you. We'll just keep the circle going. We won't do a snake since we're only doing 3 guys.
I'm gonna go with Chip Traynor.
Oh wow, okay. Did not expect that.
Yeah, This guy has done nothing but fucking everything we've asked of him. From last year to camps in spring and all this stuff this year. I think this guy is if not one of the. I just respect what he puts into it, man. I do, and I think the coaching staff does too. When you listen to someone like Day, and Day will say, he's carved out, something for himself. Whether he even did or not remains to be seen because of that room. But I can see Chip getting, some carries every game and being a part, because I feel like this guy's willing to do anything to be a part of this, and I love it about that guy, and he showed out in the games. He's busted off some long runs. In one of the earlier scrimmages and in the spring game, he busted off a couple long ones. I know it's spring and we're not full on tackling a lot of times, but I think he really became an important part of that room instead of a has-been. He's not transferring. I don't think that's a guy that's transferring. I think he's bought in.
I agree. Yeah. Well, you can't without a waiver, but yeah, I agree with you. Chipper is. I think they should try and use him at that fullback position.
Yeah.
He's got the size. He's actually probably bigger. So.
Well, I think we'll all agree, right, that if Henderson gets back to form, he's by far our best running back. Who's our second best running back after him?
Mayan.
Well, that's probably what the depth chart says, but I don't know if I like Mayan better than Chip or better than Dallin, and I haven't seen enough from Pryor, but I'm thinking I probably like Pryor better than most of them.
I don't know if I could say that without seeing a guy on the field. But regardless, let's stick with Chip. Let's stick with Chip here for this conversation. Go ahead, Jeff, on Chip. Chip on Jeff.
Well, I've heard several players and coaches in interviews talk about Chip being one of the fastest guys on the team at 220, 230 pounds. Yeah. Like per pound, like pound for pound, like dude moves his iron around. With the speed, Joe, I thought about him in that Mitch Rossi role, but the Mitch Rossi role as a weapon, not just
explosion,
plowing ahead. Yeah. But the capability, like that role, but just expounding upon it, and
growing. Rossi had some hands. They licked him out.
But that was more trick stuff. It's like let's use Trainum's athletic ability and speed. Rossi we were using as, hey, he's a bulldozer, and if you're going to leave him alone on a pass because you think he's a bulldozer, and then we'd pop it to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
I see Chip the same. I don't know how he's different.
He's more explosive. I think
a lot with that athletic.
There's so much more you can do with that position. And we don't even know if the coach is thinking about this. They're looking at some of the tight ends to fill that role. And I don't know if any of them have the body type. I guess we're kind of stuck on Chip being that body type of Rossi, but just fast.
Yeah.
But Chip ain't Rossi. Rossi probably went 240, 250. Rossi. I don't think Chip could bang like Rossi could bang.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would say Chip might be actually taller, maybe not as hefty.
I think Rossi was playing tight end. Rossi was 250 minimum.
He was 250, yes.
And Trainum's 220. And taller. Yeah, he's not going to be able to just that lead block.
I got a 230 on Chip, 250 on Mitchie.
230 on Chip.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's only 5'11".
Mm.
So compact that.
Okay.
Down, where Rossi was 6'1". So, all right, Jeff, you're number 2 draft pick. Players that took their game to the next level in spring practice.
Jeff, you on mute?
And he's muted.
Sorry about that.
I'm
I'm going with Carson Hinsman.
Oh, wow.
You know, just because I think he's going to be our starting center. And from what I saw, he looks like our starting center. Now, Jacob James is coming back from injury, but he's been out. I mean, Hinsman's been making huge strides, I think, in that offense, working with the quarterbacks, you know, working on protections and that kind of stuff. I think Carson Hinsman, just from a freshman, I thought he was just one of those afterthought linemen that we just kind of filled the classes out with. That we have, you know, it seems like we have 6 or 7 of those guys on the roster. But out of nowhere, he's leading our old line. He looks like it reminds me of was it Josh Myers? Yeah, Josh Myers. Center for the Packers now. Came in with Wyatt Davis. I don't know, 2018 maybe. Body type looks like him. But I think he won the center job, and I didn't even remember his name last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just from a guy that would look like an afterthought lineman project, we'll take him, you know, let him sit in the program for a couple of years. We have too many of those guys. Yeah, I thought he was just another one of them. But as a sophomore now, he's looking at a true sophomore being our starting center. Now, if Jacob James comes back from injury and completely outshines him in the fall, I'll feel even better about our center position if Jacob James is able to pull that off, because I think Hinsman's built up a lot of equity. So I mean, I think he wins the starting job, and I think that's really impressive from where he was coming in last year.
Okay. Well, as far as Carson Hinsman goes, I'm going to defend the Hinsman family, and he was not just a project coming in at 6'4", 280 out of Wisconsin. He was a mid-level 4-star, or a .9300 composite, number 3 player in the state of Wisconsin, which does pretty well on the lines, especially O-line. So I'm going to go ahead and defend that family, Jeff, and I take umbrage. You have umbrage, I'm going to take it for Carson.
I'll give you all my fucking umbrage.
That's a lot of hubris, boy.
I'll send it overnight FedEx to you on the beach there.
So, yeah, I think that's a good pick. I respect it. Kind of switching it up and going line. Shawn, what do you have a take on the Hinsman?
No, not much, but that you told me
the family in general.
I knew that we had.
Yes.
I knew that we had a lineman from Wisconsin, and so yeah, I'm all about that. Let's go Wisconsin.
I like that life.
I am about that life. Spotted cow, overrated beer, but you got to drink it when you're there.
Yeah. Keep it moving. All right. I'm glad you guys left this one wide open. You guys left this one wide open for me, and I'm going to take full advantage. And I'm going to get up on my soapbox for this one. Davison Igbinosun.
You cocksucker. That was my next pick.
I do not, sir. I do not.
In the parlance of our times.
The Ole Miss transfer has been an awesome addition to the Buckeyes secondary.
Now I gotta find somebody.
He says his quote was, "It feels like home. It feels like Jersey." I don't know if I want to say that out loud when you're in Ohio.
Gross.
Yeah. But anyways, 6'2", you know what I talk about. Shawn, you're all on board with the length. He brings the length and the poundage. Huge poundage guy, me. Stands out from all the other corners. And I have 4 words for you. Getting hands-on balls. Or just hands-on balls. 3 words, even better.
He's a businessman back there with the ball.
He don't fucking smile. He's not going to smile at your fucking ass. He's aggressive, attacks the ball, And he was the first of the January enrollees to have their black stripe removed. He's taking
that came
reps
really
with the
quick.
ones.
Yep.
He has taken the level of that corner room to another level. And Tim Walton, I think, has a difficult decision to make. Does he rotate 3 or just stick with his 2 starters with Burke and Hancock? You know, so
I think they move one of those guys. So they got all 3 of them on the field. I think they
in a
might put him
rotation.
I think they might move one of them to the nickel safety.
He's talking like a slot corner versus the nickel safety, right? That's what you're referring to, Shawn. Yeah. I agree, but that's going to depend on game prep, depending on what offense we're playing each week. I think that could vary. There might be weeks where you see a big Nosen, Hancock, and Burke, and then there might be against other teams you might see Proctor, Latham style. You know,
Right.
And I don't know if these corners are slot corners, any of them. Because you got Cam Martinez and you got Jihad Carter working at the slot.
Right. And what are we doing? Why don't we just call Cam Martinez and Jihad Carter slot corners? What are we doing with the nickel
You can
safety?
call him nickel.
I'm going to call him all slot. If Cam Martinez is out there covering a guy in slot, he's a slot corner. He's not a goddamn nickel safety.
That's fine.
I don't. It's just a word to call people. They're all the same. You're covering the slot. You're working. The job duty is the same. Of whether you're playing zone, you're covering the same area of the field. A nickel safety or a slot corner would be doing the same. If they're, so I don't understand the difference in the names, but we're going to see them for sure. I think it could be a 3. When we have 3 safeties on the field, I think we are rotating three corners.
Okay.
All
right. Shawn, your final pick.
Oh yeah, after you robbed me.
Stuck it in you, didn't I?
Yeah. You really robbed me on that. Then I'm gonna go back to my maybe my favorite player. My boy Styles. Sonny Styles.
Okay.
He had a nice game. Should have had a pick, maybe 2. Had 5-6 tackles. He's going to be on the field. I know we got the depth charts and Sonny's going to be on that field, and there's going to be a new position maybe called the Sonny. But to me, he's going to be a guy that has to be on the field because he's a difference maker, I think. And anytime he's out there, whether it's a spring game, anytime he's out there, you notice him, and he's a difference maker. And again, he showed it this too. He's a natural. He just needs to be a little more polished, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jeff, you want to chime in?
I mean, you said it all. I mean, I'm not really chiming in on that. It's a tough. I don't know. It's a tough choice. But it's Sonny Styles. Yeah, he gets better every year. But I don't know. Did he? When they're not even talking about him being a surefire starter, in some of the talk. Has he? I think he's asserted himself as, as to the level that he needs to, coming up, with spring. But he was highly regarded a year ago, with potential. They said a year ago.
He got snaps against Georgia. I mean,
I mean, Wisconsin before that.
Yeah, right. And those certain games against those certain kind of teams, we're gonna see him on the field 99% of the time. But if somebody's gonna run 4 wide, shotgun sprayed everywhere, maybe Sonny Styles won't be on the field as much, and maybe we do go to those
bunch
slot
of
corners,
motion,
like
bunch of different shit, and complex route trees, and Yeah, that's
Yeah, what they
They don't want to put Sonny Styles like just like kind of like deer in the headlights. And I'm not saying he would be. I'm not saying he can't handle pass concepts. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he doesn't look like the ideal. Tim May made a good comment. He called him the alley safety, like the dude, the safety you want in dark alley. That's kind of how I understood that.
He's worked in at what you would call a big nickel. Like if you're going against double tights, he's come in there. What's that?
I said that's a big nickel.
He is, yeah. So you pull a Cam Martinez covering the slot off the field because you don't have a slot receiver. And if you're going against two tight ends, you got your bandit, your boundary safety, plus Sonny Styles comes in for Cam Martinez at the slot to cover the tight end. So that's where they've been working him a lot. And that's how they used him against Georgia, Wisconsin, obviously. So the thing is with him, Jim Knowles said this spring that when you look at the potential best 11 players for this defense, Sonny's a guy that our staff is going to point to and say, we need to find a way to get him in there.
Yeah.
But
and we all agree. We all agree that should do.
But like I said on my show yesterday on the Daily Blitz, Sonny has to play. He is my bandit starter. Ransom is my adjuster. Proctor is on the fucking bench. Seniority be damned.
I'm not. Look, I'm always about best guy because it doesn't matter to me. I want the best guy out there, absolutely. But right now, I think we are loaded back there. I mean, absolutely loaded. If that team doesn't just dominate, the safeties should dominate our schedule.
Yeah. And we have the depth. This is the first time we've had quality depth at that position in quite a while.
Right, and we talk about the lopsided feature of our offense versus our defense as far as
the roster,
the roster makeup and everything. But what we have is really, really good. I mean, we have the talent from 1 to the top. Let's say the top 25 defensive guys. We have the talent to be a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
I thought we had it last year. It showed not to be ready.
Scheme.
But right now, I think a lot of those problems are going to hopefully be ironed out this year. So there should, I would expect us to be a top 10, top 15 type defense. Points per game given up, red zone percentage, third down percentage, takeaways, all that. We should be top 15 in the country in all of those.
All right, so let's we got to speed up a little bit so Jeff has time for his NFL draft segment. Jeff, you got your third pick coming up now.
Denzel.
Hold it. Did you guys pick your thirds?
You did.
I'm picking mine right now, Shawn.
Oh.
I said Denzel Burke.
Okay.
Phenomenal freshman season. He flashed, and then we all thought, "Oh shit, we got another corner. We got a guy in this class. We got another shutdown corner." And then last year, probably some nagging injuries at the wrong time. I don't know what all compounded. We don't get in his head and stuff, but he had a bad year. He fell off.
Injuries contributed, I would say.
Sure. But maybe he didn't handle his rehab properly. Maybe he just didn't attack coming back from the injuries the right way that could lead him to success later in the season. And he struggled, right? I mean, we can all agree he struggled last year. He didn't make plays his sophomore year that we saw him make as a freshman. And we thought, oh, he's really raw as a freshman. Once his sophomore, junior year, he's gonna be Okudah. He's gonna be Lattimore. He's gonna be Conley, whatever. This year, I think he's back to it. Nobody has said anything to the contrary. They said he's looking at he's like a contract year. He's like he's approaching it like a free agent.
Third year.
Yeah. So I do kind of like the makeup now. aside from Hancock's hamstrings, I like the makeup of our corners. Big Nosem's no fucking joke, and Burke is. It seems like Burke's got his mind right. And he's another thing, hands on balls, right?
Mhm.
Burke does it a
I
lot.
love it. Makes
Yeah.
me feel good.
So I think Burke does reassert himself as a shutdown corner.
Okay. Shawn, you got a take on Denzel?
No, yeah, I was thinking about taking Denzel as well. Kind of in the same boat that, yeah, I think he can be the number one if Igbino. But I love all three of these guys too. I think it's deep. Burke has a chance to be the number one guy on a really good secondary and really promote himself. And let's hope he gets back to that freshman year where there was a lot of potential there now, and he didn't play that, right? And so there should be so much more technique and things like that I expect him to be like all-American level.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Shawn. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's realized what it takes. I mean, he's been actually working out with Bradley Roby, and he's been watching a lot more film. All the players are saying that he's been in there before they even get in there, like 5:30 or whatever in the morning. So he's doing all the steps and going through the motions that he needs to understand what it takes to be a first round draft pick. And like we talked about last week with our who will be the next first round draft pick on defense. He definitely has a case to be made to be that guy, if it's not JT.
It's funny you say that, Joe, because when I mentioned his name during that segment last week, you shit all over me. So we can replay the tape
because we've only heard like comments. We haven't seen it. After watching him last year, I wasn't really sold on him.
Any one of those three could be an absolute stud. I mean, I'm with you. All three of those could be first round draft picks. They won't all be, but they all could be. And any one of those three, I don't know how this year goes.
Big Nosen was a SEC all freshman team, first team, I believe.
Oh, he's
that's
not
easy.
But
that's not easy to do. Yeah, I mean, to come into the SEC as a freshman and play.
Yeah,
we're talking
about Denzel.
Those three is great. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess with my last and final pick, I'm gonna have to go with CJ Hicks. I got a couple of my guys picked over. We picked over each other, and so I got to go with CJ. The defensive side of the ball in general just looks to be playing with a lot of swagger, a lot more confidence. I think that a lot of that has come from the secondary and filtering through with the confidence from the safeties and the corners too. So I'm going CJ Hicks. We've heard a lot about him in practice. We've seen stuff. He had a lot of tackles, quote unquote tackles, in the spring game. Broke up a couple passes, probably should have been picks. He always seems like he's right on the verge of making a big play, right? He's one of those players that is always around the ball. He got all the first team reps at will linebacker because Steele was out. So I got to go with CJ because basically we haven't seen it until now. This is the first time in his second year that we've actually seen it. The flashes on defense, not just special teams, which is what he played in the entire year last year. So going CJ. You guys got any thoughts on CJ?
Well, I would say that I mean, being a linebacker at Ohio State to come in and play it as a freshman, I mean, that's a man's spot there. And I think even though CJ Hicks kind of came in ready, you're still not ready. You know what I'm saying? But he is definitely the future of our linebacking core is CJ Hicks. I think he'll play some this year, and possibly, depending on how it goes and how Steel Chambers plays, I think he could find himself thick in that rotation. But next year it'll be, when the preseason stuff comes out and they're talking about linebackers, they'll be talking about CJ Hicks as a top 5 linebacker in the country type of dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Jeff?
Yeah, you're right, Joe. He flashes every time. That's what everybody talks about. The big playability, his athleticism flashes on the field. I don't know how much playing time he'll get this year if our 2 linebackers stay healthy, because I think if Steel Chambers and Eichenberg are healthy throughout the year, he's going to play. Yes, he's earned playing time, but I don't know if he's. It would be interesting to see if he over the season can surpass the production that Steel Chambers would have. He did take. He had the opportunity to get noticed and get a bunch of reps this year with those 2 guys nursing injuries. It seems like he took full advantage of that. I don't know how much that'll bring him. I'd say, past Steel, because Cody Simon's still there as well.
Well, and I don't think I don't think this is probably the right year for, especially wire to wire, maybe late in the season. But no, this CJ Hicks is not a guy that I think right now, as young as he is, could be the starting linebacker from front to back of the season at Ohio State. No way. This is going to be a perfect situation, I think, for him, playing behind Steel Chambers, getting quality reps, but not being, the guy 100% of the time. I think you learn into that, and then next year you're that guy.
Right.
Good.
Let me relay some of the chat here. I've been ignoring you guys. Sorry, Stephen and Paul. Appreciate you guys stopping by the show. Yeah, Stephen is on there, is right in line with me that Sonny is a starter. And I've been saying this, if you listen to any of my daily shows, I think we all 3 have been saying that Sonny is a starter. It sucks because it seems that the coaches have a different point of view. Surprising that the coaches think differently from the fans. I know. But anyways, Stephen also says that we get elite 5-star talent. If you're not going to utilize them, he says, I'm taking a wait and see approach with Burke. He also said CJ Hicks should be a starter. I can't argue with you there, but for who?
What is he saying over Steel Chambers?
Well, CJ Hicks plays Will. Steel plays Will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not better than Eichenberg. I don't give a fuck if Eichenberg has.
Well, he doesn't play Mike anyway, so Cody Simon would be the next man in on Mike. But Paul Buckeye, I appreciate you. Hope everything's going well for you. Remember,
yes, sir.
Last time we talked to you, you just got back from the James. He says that Silver Bullets are back. So I believe.
Goddamn right, Paul.
I believe it. I believe
right.
it. I believe. Yeah. I believe.
Feeling it. I like this. This draft actually turned out to be a very defensive sided draft, right? Except for Jeff going O-line. Shawn went receiver, running back. I went receiver, corner, LB. So yeah, a lot of defensive heavy.
Oh, you went, Jeff
went
Kenyatta.
Yeah. Jeff had 2 defense. You had 2 offense. I had 2 defense. But anyways, appreciate you guys stopping by. We're not done yet. Coming up in the coming weeks, I wanted to let you guys know we're going to be doing our updated 2 deeps coming off of the spring practice and with all the changes and everything and guys getting reps, not getting reps. So we're going to do offense probably next week and then defense the following week. And we're going to all debate that shit. But coming up right now, I think we'll go ahead and let Jeff have the floor with his NFL draft segment. Jeff, what are you talking about tonight?
I just wanted to do a quick update on on former Buckeyes where they might be going in the draft is Thursday. We have a couple of pretty guys that are pretty good, going to go pretty high. Former quarterback CJ Stroud. It seemed like for like a month after the combine and after his pro day, it was a CJ Stroud Panthers. Fucking McShay, and he changed his tune once he heard all the momentum building. Kuiper took a little bit longer to switch over to Stroud. Yeah, some of the NFL Network guys are kind of hard to follow because they put them all right beside each other on TV. And now it seems like the negative talk, and I say this as a homer, I'm sure with my homer painted glasses, but it seems like Ohio State players, not just, and Joe, you'll be able to get a little more information to this when I finish the sentence, not just our quarterbacks seem to catch a stray every now and then. Was referring to Jameson Williams. Everybody considered him an Alabama's wideout star until he got in trouble. And now he's a fucking Buckeye. Now he's a former Buckeye gambling loser.
Let me tell you right now, if you want to go back to, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago, get the archives out. In my opinion on Jameson Williams, I thought that kid was maybe a little bit of a wild card to begin with, and why he left and the way he carried himself, and he carried himself on our field in a very similar way to another guy that's probably not that quality, like Damon Arnett carried himself, and I feel like that was noticeable. I noticed it, and I'm not surprised with that. But that makes me also think, you know what? Maybe that's why he left. Like, Ohio State's not the place for him. We're getting quality dudes. And it sucks when something like that happens. And I hope he gets it all figured out. I don't dislike the guy. But if you go back and listen to old podcasts, I know
John's a big time hater, J-Mo. I can't argue with that.
I was. Yeah. Not the speed.
Yeah, Jeff, please continue on with your draft analysis.
Yeah, just CJ Stroud, they're talking now.
Keep it to like 10 minutes, please.
No, I need to. CJ Stroud now is being talked about. Not even, teams at the top that already have quarterbacks or looking to trade up. I've seen people talking that CJ Stroud might be the 3rd quarterback going in this draft, and maybe around at the 9-10 range. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, I have a lot of judgment on CJ Stroud as a Buckeye all-time quarterback. There's a lot of guys I put ahead of him for a lot of reasons. But I don't like him talking about Ohio State in the light they put Ohio State. And for any of those guys to make a comment about, well, look what the past NFL, what does Ohio State put in the NFL from the quarterback position? I don't know. Dwayne Haskins had a great year in college. He stumbled quite a bit in the NFL, leading up to his passing, of course. It never really got solidified, but the book wasn't closed on him. And Justin Fields, this time last year, Justin Fields could have been anywhere from 2 after Trevor Lawrence.
And Justin Fields has 0 talent around him, like 0.
And there was people making comments that I've heard from some teams that he wouldn't even be on my draft board. Are you fucking kidding me? You would draft him and move him to receiver before you would just shut him off. I was praying he would go to the 49ers last year. Then they, when they went up to get Lance, I was hoping that Justin would land there, because it's not so much where you go, what number, it's the fit, it's the scheme, it's the organization. I don't give a fuck that CJ Stroud doesn't go to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are a wreck. I hope Houston doesn't draft him, because they're a shithole. Let him slide, but don't talk shit about CJ not being one of the best quarterbacks not being the best passer available in this draft.
I
But
feel
I
like
hope he does slide to 12 or 14 or somewhere
I
down
feel
the
like
line.
CJ Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft, which is not saying much. I don't think, if you want to build a franchise, I don't want to build it around necessarily CJ Stroud. I love him. I think he's amazing. But to me, it's clear, like for an NFL guy, I mean, I don't know how you can take what's his name from Alabama being so small. It just doesn't work. It's not working. Guys that
Jeff?
little.
So Jeff, what else are you talking about with as it relates to Buckeyes in the draft?
But yeah, I mean, we're going to see Jackson Smith. He should be the first receiver taken off the board. But the top 3 receivers are all like that slot that Jackson Smith, the JSN build. Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. They're not those big Marvin Harrison guys. It's kind of a big shift. The NFL, they saw what Cooper Kupp and those type of slot receivers can do production-wise. So they're like, oh, well, maybe we should pay attention to these slots. I don't know if JSN would be the number 1 receiver coming out in a lot of classes, especially next year's. But by far, if you look at Jordan Addison, caught a ton of balls, but I didn't see anything special from him. Zay Flowers, I can honestly say I've never seen him play, but somebody told me he was 178 pounds. What the fuck are you going to do in the NFL? Like at high level production at 178 pounds.
Devonta Smith.
Okay.
Right,
okay. That goes back to another point. It's all about fit. It's all about fit. I hope our Buckeyes all land in the right spot in the organizations that they need to be in, because they have the talent, they will prosper. What that does is seeing success from our Buckeyes, Justin Fields, all these guys in the NFL, that all circles back to recruiting. It's all shit that Pantone can just lay out in front of kids. You know what I mean?
I actually want to spread it around. I want Buckeyes on every team in the NFL. So when they're talking about the game and their fucking 4-hour broadcasts, they can say at some point they're going to say, yeah, he played at Ohio State, and every game that you watch, there's going to be an Ohio State mention.
Okay.
I agree, but the organization that guys end up in situations. Justin Fields had a shit deal. He's had no offense to help.
That's typically what happens when you're early draft pick. You get picked by shitty teams, so it's not like it's a surprise.
What if 49ers didn't get Lance and they traded up and they took Fields? What do you think Justin Fields might look at?
Well,
and what would the Ohio State quarterback lineage
I'm going to say
in the NFL look like if Fields was in San Francisco right now? I think he'd look a lot better than he did in Chicago. That's what I'm saying.
I've not listened to Valente or some of those guys lately, but if Justin Fields drops to 6, where I think Detroit's picking their first pick this year, and Detroit needs defense, but they're sitting on Goff as their quarterback, who looks pretty good right now, as good as anybody in the NFC, which is pretty weak in the quarterback thing. But I'd probably take CJ Stroud 6 if he's going to follow the Lions. They got another pick that's like 17 or 18 because they got all kinds of picks. But
right
at 6, I think a team like the Lions.
I had heard that rumor, and I would feel better about Ohio State quarterbacks ending up in Detroit. Crazy to say, than Houston or Carolina. Just the fit, the organization, the from the top down. That's what quarterbacks need.
Where's Stroud from, Joe?
CJ Stroud is from California.
LA. Southern Cal.
Rancho Cucamonga. So who else do you want to talk about, Jeff, as far as Ohio State draft picks go?
Paris Johnson's going to go, should be first or second. Yeah, definitely first round. First or second tackle taken. I love I love this. Kuiper the other day said a left guard project moving out to left tackle. Not, there's some uncertainty there. He played left guard one season with us just because he was one of the best 5. he's a left tackle. He's played left tackle all of high school, I believe. He's trained as a left tackle. So, but they're saying that Skoronski from Northwestern may be a guard in the NFL. Either way, Paris Johnson probably right around that 11 to 15 range. We should see Paris Johnson coming off the board. First or second, him or Skoronski, first two linemen off. Possibly New England. I think New England's picking at 14. But yeah, so Buckeyes have 3 more first rounders this year. It's a nice number. It's not, having one, then people think you fell off. We're one of the elite schools. We need at least 3 first rounders every year. This year we'll have it. And hopefully they end up in the right situations where they can prosper the best way possible. And it only reflects better on our program if they get drafted by the right people. Yeah. It's a big thing. Fit in the NFL is just
Paris
as big
Johnson's
as
going to be a 10-year Pro Bowler. Paris Johnson's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least a team's left tackle for a decade, whether it's Pro Bowls or not. But yeah, all right, we got left tackle taken care of, like Joe Staley from the 49ers, something like that. Yeah. All right, we got tackle. He's good. We're writing that in.
So yes, I mean 10-year starter, maybe 4 or 5 years Pro Bowler. Something like that.
Could very well be, but to say he's a left guard project left tackle, get the fuck out of here, man. Don't talk shit. Do the fucking research. You would know that he played left guard 1 fucking season. Come on, man. That was it, Joe, about the NFL. Just keep our Buckeyes in mind.
Good shit. Yeah. Everybody cares about their Buckeyes going forward. Obviously, it
all helps. It all helps.
Yeah. We want to see them and doing well in the NFL because it helps recruiting and everything else. So, appreciate everybody joining us. Please hit the subscribe button if you would like the video. I would greatly appreciate it too. As always, we appreciate everybody joining in. One last question here. Stephen Cherry. Will Hartline get a suspension? No, he will not.
No.
As soon as he stops recruiting well, yes, then he'll be suspended. Hartline is not getting a suspension. He is going to get a pat on the head and keep it moving. Get your ass down to South Florida. Go ahead, Shawn, quickly.
Hey. No, I mean, let's just touch on that real quick before you sign off here. You'd said something out, and is this going to be? There needs to be serious talks, I think, between Ryan Day. If you're saying this is like the 3rd incident, kind of, something happened here and the car was there. I mean, I don't want that. We're giving him the keys to the car. The keys to the fucking Ferrari on offense. And if he's drunk, and I'm being facetious, like he's not going to be drunk during the game or whatever, but
wrapping around a pole.
Still, what I'm getting at? Tighten it up, Heartline, and hey, have fun. Just responsible, man.
Yeah, I never get to. Joe, it was on his property, correct? Where the accident happened, the ATV or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's not even illegal. You're on your property.
Operating a motor vehicle under the influence, regardless if it's private property or not, is actually still a crime. I've been pulled over on private property, arrested on private property. So,
yes, I agree. Yes, it is definitely possible. I'm just saying, do we know what the injuries were? It said he was treated for minor injuries.
No, we don't even know when he's going to be back on the job.
But if it's on his property, that means probably family was around. He's probably feeling super
Justin
embarrassed.
Fry was there. I think he's the only person that is Ohio State related.
So he's probably working through it now. You would think he would be really embarrassed about it.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's not a problem. It's like, man, I'm just having fun, and I fucking
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna jump this fucking creek. Watch this. He fucking hit the bank or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah, people are asking the same shit. Like, is this going to affect
It's
recruiting?
something to watch,
No,
though.
no, it's
It is
not going
something
to
to
affect
watch.
recruiting. It's something to keep in the back of your head. I'm not super worried about it. I mean, and it's not going to affect recruiting. Parents are not going to be asking him questions about this on the recruiting trail. So
I don't think so
I
either.
think if this was during the season, we would have ended it like the next day. Unless he gets arrested and is charged with something, which technically, I believe the sheriff's, I believe that is that Delaware County. I think they're still investigating. So if they press charges, that's when things will get a
No,
little
that's
bit
not,
hairy.
but it's still not a good look. You know what? Clean
Of
it
course
up.
not, Shawn. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking
I
wreck
mean,
a
I
car.
don't know what you're saying. Well, until there's something. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. But you know what? No, outside of that, it's not a good look. Knock it the fuck off. Let's go.
No, it's
Clean
not
it
a
up.
good look, but it's not going to hurt him whatsoever or the program, which is what the question
agree.
was.
I don't think so either. And not like a DUI accident where he wrecked his car on the highway out in public would have, portrayed him. That would have looked way worse.
You mean
But
like I-95 and 595?
Yeah. Correct. But there can't be another one. There can't be something where, Hardline, was detained but not arrested in a scuffle outside of a nightclub on some recruiting trip with 4 other people. There can't be any of those type of stories where he's involved in this or where alcohol, where you would draw a direct correlation to alcohol related.
He's sitting on
You
the
can't have
golden
a second
ticket.
one.
He's sitting on the golden ticket, and he can go big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
But you guys agree, right? Like this is his one hiccup. There can't be a second because now you're seeing patterns. 2 in a 12-month period.
Winning cures all ills. So I mean that there can't be. I don't know.
He's winning. He's winning right now.
Right?
He's winning.
Exactly.
Even though he's not head coach, he's still winning. Good question there, Stephen. Thanks for popping that in because that's a topic we really almost forgot about because nobody else is really talking about it. But folks, please subscribe, like, appreciate everybody. We will be here every Sunday. Maybe we'll give Jeff and Shawn like alternating weeks off. What do you guys think about that? You guys want to like through the summer take a week off?
Yeah, I have to look at my calendar. I got some vacation scheduled.
Oh, good. Yeah,
I've got some,
fill out your PTO request form.
Yeah, I got a couple flights out like to Japan and stuff on Sundays that I will be missing a few over the summer. So
well, if you guys want to alternate like one off, one on, just don't leave me alone because I get a little weird when I'm alone. I don't want to get banned by YouTube. So
we can talk about it offline.
Perfect.
Yeah,
all right.
Right.
Appreciate everybody. We will see you next week. Don't forget the Daily Blitz. Get your ass in there, subscribe every time a new video comes out. And we will talk to you next week. Appreciate you guys. Go Bucks.
Peace.
Later, bro.